Hey guys, I haven't done this before, but I have been feeling lately that maybe I could share some resources that could be beneficial for some people. As those of you who are my friends know, I got COVID March 10th and didn't present in any of the ways that the CDC said. So I had no fever, I had no cough. But what I did have was great fatigue, headaches, and what felt like I was getting a sinus infection, but there was no phlegm. So that definitely felt different. And it felt like I had a balloon that had been blown up in the back of my nose and kind of blocked my breathing. And it went on for quite a while. But in the scheme of things, I was considered one of the lucky ones. And it was so early on, actually, that now there are a lot more resources and a lot more information, which I think can be comforting to people. And yet, still a lot that isn't known. But the thing I want to talk about is the long haul symptom called parosmia, which is what I've been experiencing. And there has been some news and press about it, but I'm reminded pretty regularly about how little awareness is around it and how it's causing a lot of people depression, fear, anxiety. It's an odd one and a tough one for a lot of people. I got a call a few days ago from someone I know who said, "Susan, I have a client here in my office and she is severely depressed. She's lost 20 pounds and she, like you, had COVID back in March, and she's now having this distortion of smell and she doesn't know what it is. And I told her that you are having the same thing and that you do have information about it." So she connected me with her and we talked for about 30 minutes and the woman cried for probably 10 minutes of it. One, I think because she was relieved to know that what it was, and that she wasn't crazy, and that her family members telling her that it was all in her head were completely wrong. So I want to just share, so there are about 9 million worldwide cases, documented cases of COVID-19 right now. And there are statistics that measure, between Iran, Italy, the UK, Korea, and the United States, this varying research shows that it's a pretty big spread, but on the bottom side, between 50% and on the high side, 80% of people who get COVID will have some form of olfactory dysfunction, namely anosmia, which is the loss of smell. And let's say roughly 80% of those people will get their smell back within 2 to 4 weeks, and roughly 20% it will take longer than 8 weeks. And I fell into that longer than 8 weeks. And I started getting faint smells back around the 8-week mark. Had to work hard to pick up those scents. And then on about the 4th month, I started in this new phase called parosmia, which is the distortion of smell. And by July, it got really bad. And what happens is, well, first of all, the good news is that parosmia is a sign that the olfactory nerve is regenerating. So that part of it is great news. However, while it's doing that, I can't scientifically explain why it happens, but there is this distortion of the smell that you receive, and it is crazy the things that it affects. Being in this international Facebook group that I'm a part of, I'm seeing that there are so many things that are similar to what everybody else is experiencing. Firstly, people mainly describe it as this chemical smell, kind of sickly sweet, and it pervades your taste buds, and it makes it impossible to eat these foods when it's really bad that take it in. Or for me, I noticed that in addition to the foods, I would go to drink my water, and the detergent that I was using for my glassware and dishware was affecting the smell of the water, because I could smell the detergent in there, and it made it so I couldn't drink it. So I had to change to all, fragrance-free things in my house: hand soap, cleaners, detergent, all of it. And for a lot of people, the smells are so bad that they can't eat at all. And there are all these reports of people losing weight and becoming really sick from that. And in my case, I would say that I've gained weight, and then you also hear that a lot, because the things that people tend to be able to tolerate are not necessarily the healthiest thing, especially if they are the main thing in your diets, which are starchy carbs, bread, pasta, rice, potatoes. Cheese seems to be tolerable by most people, and things that are sugary, salty, as long as they don't have a lot of smell. But the amount of depression out there is huge. So through this organization that I want to share with you, I've learned so much, and it is a great resource. So if you or anyone you know is experiencing this or lost their smell and they still haven't gotten it back, I recommend that you go to absent.org, abscent.org, and from there you can request to join the Facebook groups, which have been an unbelievable amount of support for me and for other people I know that have joined it. And then through Absent also is just unbelievable resources for Zoom calls with these top ear, nose, and throat doctors, researchers, scientists, nutritionists, psychologists, who have really had a lot of experience and are diving even more into the whole notion of olfactory dysfunction with COVID-19. And it is allowing those of us to also participate in research studies. So our experiences are providing information for others. Anyway, I am so grateful for that. And I want to just say that this notion that you just want to get COVID and if most of us will be okay and whatnot. Yes, more people will not die than, people who tragically will die from this. But the number of people who are being affected by long haul symptoms is tragic in and of itself. And there are the symptoms of people who are having lung damage and issues following COVID, heart issues, heart palpitations, dizziness, brain fog. I mean, the list goes on. And so what I want to say is, do your best to not get this. Wear a mask. Take it seriously. What our president is saying, I think, is doing a huge disservice to everyone. I don't know how we're going to get rid of this without, it just being a vaccine. So in the meantime, do everything you can to not get it. And be respectful to people, please, who are appropriately socially distancing and wearing masks and being more cautious, because you don't know if you're going to be someone not even thinking about dying, but who are going to be living with these long haul symptoms that are affecting people's lives greatly. And even though you may think that this what I'm sharing today about the distortion of smell isn't that bad. I assure you it is. It's like walking throughout your day in a porta potty and trying to eat and think and do your work and be creative and connect with your family while you're being hit by this continual barrage of disgusting smells. So I think there'll be more and more information that comes out about this. I see in the Facebook group all of these young people, a lot of teenagers and 20-somethings who, when they got COVID, the only symptom they had was their loss of smell, came back right away, and they thought, great, I dodged a bullet here, not so bad. And then 5, 6, 7 months later, they're getting the parosmia and they have no idea what it is. A lot of them didn't even know it was related to COVID, or they think that it's all in their head, that something weird's going on, and they're distraught and they're having a hard time functioning. And they found resources and a lot of comfort from being part of this group. So anyway, if you know anyone suffering like this, please share the information. And also, if you guys know anybody who would just like to talk to someone, please feel free to connect me to them and pass this along. I wish everyone well. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thanks.